Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Galip. Today you have research session, and it's a follow-up. It's a kind of follow-up. So what did you do about your research? But first, I have some questions to ask you. First of all, you should answer these questions. Okay. All the researches are identical in topics. They have similar topics, similar titles. Does it mean they are identical in the content, and why? Please answer this question, okay? I'll say again, all the researches are similar, or they have similar titles, because all of you will talk about alternative energy. Okay, does that mean they are identical in the content, and why? Another question, how many researches have you read? Of course, to write, so you have to read first, and to speak, you have to listen first, okay? So now, I'm asking you, how many researches have you read? To write a research, the number of researches you have to read. I think you have to read 5 to 7 researches. From these 5 to 7, you can create, you can make a new research. It's impossible to make research without reading. So reading is a must to write your research. This is question number 2. So question number 1, I'll say again, does it mean that the researchers identical in content, and why? Second question, how many researches have you read? You have to read before you write. Next one, all the parts are connected to each other. Literature review, conclusion, and recommendations. These are connected to each other. Let's say again, literature review, this means prior solution researches or past researches. This means what you have to read, and conclusion and recommendation. Okay, they are not separate parts, they are connected parts. My next question, where can you put tables and figures? Where can you put tables and figures? You can choose, you can put in the title or interaction or literature review or conclusion or analysis or recommendations. I don't know. Answer me, please. Where can you put tables and figures? Okay. Level goes up from accomplished to distinguished. And you know that distinguished means outstanding. It means excellent or super excellent. So level goes from accomplished, which we have read last time, and from accomplished you can move to distinguished or outstanding, not vice versa. And the STEAMers do not look at developing and pre-novice. That's my opinion. I don't know you agree with me or disagree. I'll say again, STEAMers do not look at developing level or pre-novice level. Do you agree with me, and why? Okay. Next questions. How many words you should read in each section? I think you have to look about the agenda or the proposal of research, and you can find how many words you should write in each section. Okay. Let's go to the title. The title should be short And when I say short, this means not too short, not too long. The title should be short, should be clear, should be clear. When I read it, I understand it. So it's understandable. And should be concise. And should be should use pious language. This means you, as a student, you cannot use slang words. You cannot use informal words. You should use formal because you write in academic way. So pious language. And language, pious language you can find in APA. If you go to APA website, you'll find which language, which expressions, which words you can use in each section. Okay? The title should have no ambiguity. Should have no ambiguity means should be clear. So the reader can understand fast. I'll say again, the title should be short, not too long, should be clear, should be concise. You should use pious language, not slang. The title should have no ambiguity. Okay? The abstract. Let's move to abstract. The abstract. Do I have to, as a reader, I'm talking as a reader, do I have to read all the research to know what do you mean? Yes or no? Please answer me. Do you mean, do I have to read all the research to know what do you mean? Second question in the abstract, what are the components? What are the components of the abstract? Okay, abstract. My first question is, do I have to read all the research to know what do you mean? And second question, what are the components, what are the parts of the abstract? I need you now to mention 3 parts or 3 components, okay? I say again, this session is a kind of follow-up. Okay, we talked about the title, I talked about abstract. Let's go to the introduction. In the introduction, if you are a professional writer, this means you are in outstanding stage. Professional writer. Professional, this means you connect ideas and you attract the reader with your writing style. You should attract the reader, okay? You can write in a serial, or you can write from, yes, I remember the thing now. You should write as in a funnel. You know funnel and tunnel? Oh, they are common words, funnel and tunnel, tunnel and funnel. Funnel introduction. Do you know the shape of funnel? Okay, this introduction should be like that. Should start with a wide range or broad, then go narrower, then go narrower. This is a funnel introduction. You should have a general speaking about your topic. After you have general speaking about your topic, you go more concise. Then at the end, it will be the main idea. What's your introduction about? What's your research about? So introduction, or I can say in general, your writing should be in paragraphs. Don't write too much. You should write in paragraphs. The first paragraph in the introduction should be general information about your research. Then you go narrower, then you go narrower. This is a funnel introduction, okay? Next, we can go to the literature review and theoretical analysis. And we talked about it last session. In a literature review, this means What have you read of other researches? What have you read? And what is theoretical analysis? This means you should write them, discuss, and analyze weakness and strength points. Why this point is weak, this point is strong. This point is weak because blah, 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 and this point is strong because blah, blah, blah. You should mention reasons to support your ideas. And your weakness and strength points should depend on scientific laws. Okay? You should mention scientific laws. Now I am in the literature review and theoretical analysis. You should write scientific laws, which you depend on. You should write theories. You should write evidences with citation. With citation. And you know this in text citation or a reference you can mention at the end of your research. And in APA, we talked about in text citation. And now I have a question in my mind I can ask you. My question is, in text citation, we have quotation and paraphrasing. We have quotation and paraphrasing. What is the difference between them? Or how can I cite a quotation and how I can cite a quotation which I paraphrased? What the meaning of paraphrasing? Paraphrasing means when I say a quotation with my own words. I read it, I understood, okay? And I say it with my own words, but also I must refer to the writer or the author, okay? How you should cite, that's my question to you, how you should cite in text citation as a quotation, and how also you can cite in text citation as a paraphrase, okay? Next question, how do you cite a reference? What is the exact or the correct way to cite a reference at the end of your research, okay? And what should you do if you have more than one author? You have 3 or 4 or 3 to 5 authors. What should you do to cite this, okay? Let's go to the conclusion. The conclusion is a connection among 3 parts: the findings and the data analysis and the purpose. Okay, the conclusion is a connection among 3 parts: the findings and the data analysis and purpose. Okay, recommendations. What should you write in recommendations? And please, I want to send you my email. Sorry, to send me an email to say or to show me what did you do in your research. Okay. Recommendations. You should write the ways of application. You should write ways of application. How are your findings applicable? Or how can I apply them? How can I apply them? And second thing is the future improvements. What should you advise, or what advice you give to next researcher or future researcher? Okay. The last thing, or before the last, is literature cited. And this not include only a website. You have many resources you can cite. You have miscellaneous resources. And you should look at APA guideline. Next one is the layout. The last one, layout is the formatting. What the font you should write, and what's the size of your font, and another details also you can look at APA. Okay. The group here, I have groups for team 4 groups. 1 second. Okay. Groups here, I'm talking about leaders. I can share screen also. You can show my screen. You can see my screen. 1 second. Show screen. Okay, show screen, share screen. That's okay. And now talking about the leaders. So the leaders, yes. The leaders. It's okay now to share screen. I don't know. Do you see my screen? Stop share. Or I can share again. Share again. Share again. Okay, I'm talking about group number 1. Group number 1 is Malik Mahmoud, the leader of group 1. What did your team do? Okay. And the group 2, the leader is Mayar Saeed. What did your team do? And here Rawan Abdul Naim, the leader of group 3. And here leader of group 4 is Asil Abduraouf. And group 5 is Ala Zakaria Muhammad. Please write to me what happened in your research and STEMers. I say again, and I can say every time. If not now, then when? If not you, then who? Okay, for STEMers, and talk about or think about yourself, your parents, and your society, your community, and how you should help your society, and be optimistic and have a strong will. Okay, don't say, okay, we have no schools, we have holidays. No, you have no holidays. You should work hard. You should work hard until the last day of your life. Okay, that's my advice to you. Don't say, okay, next year. Okay, next year, for example, or for instance, you have to write about, or you have to write another research. So this year you have experience to write research. It's a chance to you, okay? Don't be late. Don't be late. And that's my advice to you, okay? And I'm waiting for answers. Please reply to me by email. And now I can leave the session. And I hope this session will be beneficial to you. And please write to me any questions you have. I've got many questions from this group, but please I said be optimistic, okay? And don't hesitate and work hard and think about your life, your future, okay? Don't say, I am very late. No, you are not very late, and you have to work hard, and you have all the opportunities and everything you have in your life, and say Alhamdulillah, because you are still alive and you can do a lot of things in your life, okay? That's my advice to you, and I thank you also, and goodbye.